So in order to put the leash and all her gear on her, she can pretty much wear this all the time. To get it off her, it should just slip off. It actually shouldn't really just slip off her head. I think you pull the buckle and it'll go, get bigger. Put it on her and pull the buckle the other way, and it'll get smaller. And like, it doesn't have to be super tight. The way this collar works is this piece right here pulls these two rings together. So if she tries to get away, it's gonna close, and it's not like she can't back out of it. So to put this stuff on her, nope, come here, Limerick, come. Sit. Good. The one that looks like a normal dog thing goes on this collar, on the paracord right there. And I would actually put the E-collar on her next, and you want the E-collar on the side of her away from you, and whenever you're walking her. If you're in the house, you can put it on her however you want. If you have it on the side towards you and she gets like a good stimulation, she might nip your leg or something, like it feels like they're getting bit. So if she, like I said, especially if she's all excited and worked up, to put it on her, you can don't put it at 12 or 6. You want it on muscle, so you don't want it on her throat and you don't want it on her spine. It can pretty much, like, you probably could put this pretty much right up next to this other collar, and then pull this down so it's a little bit tight. It doesn't have to be too tight right at first, and kind of like pretend like the E-collar's brush, and like brush it around. You're trying to move the fur out of the way and get the prongs down to her skin. And then once you do that, make this pretty tight. You want it to be pretty good and tight. If it's not good and tight, it's not going to have good connection, and you'll be stimulating her with the E-collar. She won't feel anything, and you'll keep turning it up, and then you'll have it turned way up, and it will make contact, and it'll scare the shit out of her. The mark this prong collar, you have to pinch the prongs. So if your fingers aren't very strong, the best way to do it is probably actually pinch the points of it and then start pulling it apart. But the one prong slips out of the other prong. And then to put it on her, you just kind of put it on like a necklace. Sit. Good. And this should be, right up behind her ears, basically. And then like it goes back together, the opposite of the way it came apart. It could probably be just a little bit tighter for her. You want to think of like a watch, like a watch on your arm. Unless you wear your watch where it flops all over your arm, you want it to pretty much stay in place. And you want this on top of her neck and the prongs down the front of her neck. Then this is a locking carabiner, so you have to turn this barrel and then pull it back. Like if you don't turn the barrel, it's not going to open up. The locking carabiner goes to the part of the martingale collar with that swivel, or the prong collar with a swivel. Like you don't want this attached to this ring. You want it attached to this ring that swivels. And then when you go to hold the leash, just pretend like you're gonna pet her. Put the leash between your pointer finger and ring finger, and don't give her the whole leash. You want to kind of you don't want the leash to be tight all the time. Like you want her to be able to make the leash loose. So like you don't want to hold her like this and walk her the whole time where the leash never gets slack. You want it to be like that, and then if she goes a little bit in front, it'll start tightening up. And I actually forgot to activate the E-collar. You push this button here, the blue button on the side, until you see it come on. Once it comes on, turn it all the way down to 0 to start with. And there's a red dot on the back of the remote, and there's a red dot on the collar. The collar is actually on already. So once it's on, then turn the dial up one or two at a time, and touch the stimulation button until you see her give a reaction. she should start reacting probably around 6 or 8. So you see her ears, and she kind of looked. Did you see it? Anyway,
sure.
She's not. You don't want her to twitch. You don't want her to be a violent reaction. You want it to
Right.
be a slight reaction. So I'm turning it back down to 5, and I'm pressing it. No reaction. 6. See her ear twitch? Like she probably felt that. See her ear?
Yeah.
Like I said, you want you want it to be at a level that she feels, but you don't want it to be at a level that's gonna make it so she can't work or think. You know, if it's shocking the shit out of her and she's doing this every time. So then that's how all her stuff goes on her.
All right.